Welcome. My name is Enoy Ekong, and I still remain a marriage and family counselor and a healing group facilitator. Reviewing the book to interest us to know that marriage is God's creation. Not only is it God's creation, marriage is also uniting. In the first chapter of the book, titled Marriage is God's Idea, it's good to understand that at the beginning of human history, the first man was joined to the first woman when God presented Eve to Adam. Similarly, at the end of history, there will be the marriage feast of the Lamb when Christ and his bride, the church, will be joined together forever. So, God instituted marriage before the advent of sin in the world. It was part of his good and perfect plan for humanity, meant to reflect his relationship with his church. If we look further in that chapter 1, we'll see that as you look forward to this dream home, we must learn or lean on these pillars for strength so it does not sag. What are these pillars? Intentional love, informed expectation, unimpeachable behavior. This will go a long way to give us a great stability in our marriage. A home is a place of relaxation, serenity, comfort, and satisfaction. It is also a paradise on earth. Without these, it is simply a house. So there is a difference between a house and a home. A home is an idea of God's. It is not cultural or man-made. It's an idea from God. So it must be built on commitment. It must be built on sacrifice. It must be built on understanding. It must be built on trust. It must be built on communication. It must be built on love. So in building a good reputation in our marriages, we must be careful in judging our spouse by outward personality. We must give our spouse the freedom to evaluate us honestly. We must deal with misperception without being defensive. We must also define our strength and areas of weakness for improvement. And we must also think before we act in our marriage. We want to enjoy a godly marriage. Most married couples miss God's best simply because they do not know what God desires for marriage. If you don't know the purpose of something, it is destined for misuse. It is destined for abuse. So we must get to understand the plan of God for our marriage. God said, "Let us make man in our image and our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air, over the livestock, over all the earth, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number. Fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air and over every living creature that moves on the ground." The Lord God said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and they will become one flesh." I read to you Genesis chapter 1, 26 to 28, and chapter 2, 18 and verse 24. There are 5 aspects of God's plan for marriage. What are these plans? 1, it is to reflect God's image. Your marriage should reflect God's image. When it reflects God's image, it's able to carry out the purpose of God. It is to raise godly children. It is to establish and build God's kingdom. It is for companionship. Not only that, it is also for a couple to make a new family unit. So it's important we understand the plan of God, the purpose of God for our marriages. What are the essential ingredients for a godly marriage? few of them. There are many, but few are highlighted here. One is faithfulness. The second is honor. Another is humility. We have patience, and we have understanding, and of course, unity. How do you enjoy peace in a home that is not united? We must be able to bring this to play in our marriages and then watch God's idea, God's plan manifest in our marriages. Thank you for listening. As we look at other chapters, we're able to draw you to the privilege of coming to read more in this book. Thank you for listening.